Okay, we're back in. Here we are. This is Sobat versus XIXM. Now we actually have the icons here, which is good. Sobat has 3 miners already, controlling one to get the optimized mining. We also have an undead making their way over, which looks like an organically bought undead. So Sobat's going with the buy an undead strategy. Very interesting. You don't see that often here. We got 4 miners over here building bank with 2 miners in queue. Usually not a necessary investment to have 2 miners in queue at the same time. And I don't know if they're going to be ready for this undead, who's actually deciding to stay at center. Maybe little does Sobat know if that undead was sent towards these miners, it actually might be able to do a little bit of damage and distract from its money-making strategies. But we got some other units now in queue. It looks like we've got a... I can't actually see. I think it's an Archidon. Or sorry, Sword's Wrath. I don't know why I always call it Archidon. And we also have some bowmen in the work. Archidons. When I actually need to say it, I say it wrong. Ooh, and those Sword's Wrath are going to beat the heck out of that undead. That's not getting anywhere. But the center control still goes to Sobat, who is also doing pretty strong in the mining area, as well as buying a few more dead. And it looks like their first Juggernaut coming out. They also have some Eclipsers, which should be very interesting to see in play. You don't see that in tournament a ton. But I feel like I've seen a resurgence of them just from online queue. But I'm a silver. You know, I'm not a high ranking player by any means. So we got Archidons with flame arrows, which is very interesting here. And yeah, those Juggernauts are getting ready. Oh, we have an army of undead that spawned from nowhere, it feels like, led by a Juggernaut right here. Juggernaut, I think is what this actually called. I'm very interested to see how Juggernauts play in this tournament, because I think it's still a little bit unclear as to whether or not they are overpowered, underpowered, or even viable. We're still finding out, right? Because whenever you choose it, it's like, is it really worth buying these over Speartons, who are already really good? That's what we're going to find out this tournament, I think. I think we're going to find a lot more about the Juggernauts. Those flame arrows are knocking out the undead pretty quick. Is it going to be able to knock out all those? Probably not, with 2 Juggernauts also coming in. Don't think the 4 Sword Wrath here is going to be able to withstand that. We've got our first retreat happening here, which is understandable. Making bank on this way back. But I don't know if the power of these Archidons are going to be able to stop all of these units. 1 arrow only takes out 1 unit, so I just don't know how they can function like that. And we got the 3rd Juggernaut on the way. It's not looking fantastic, but we do have the Juggernauts retreating, and it looks like the undead might actually die in time, but Sobat's coming in with a manual control, and it's not quite enough to take it out. That's going to be a victory towards Sobat. Very interesting play. I don't think XIX did much wrong, per se, except just didn't quite adapt in time to the deck that Sobat threw out. XIX had a strategy that might have been worked in other case scenarios, but it didn't simply didn't play out here. So that's going to send XIX down to the losers bracket, with Sobat going up into the higher bracket to fight probably one of the most skilled players here, but also like one of the most anticipated players here, which is Rampage, also known as Masquerade. And we'll see how that goes out. Now, I'm going to switch back to the bracket screen and figure out what we're doing next exactly. So stand by. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.